Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Inside Golf. I'm Harry Donahue. The Philadelphia area has always been a hot spot for golf. And one question that I'm constantly asked is, why can't the Philly area get a tour event? Well, this year, the PGA Tour is coming to the Wissahickon Course at the Philadelphia Cricket Club. The Truist Championship will be played the second week in May. Coming up today, I'll talk to the Director of Golf, Jim Smith, and the Executive Tournament Director, Joie Chitwood, as Philly Cricket prepares for a Philly stop on the PGA Tour. It's next on Inside Golf. The 27th season of Inside Golf is presented by Destination Montco Golf, the First Tee of Greater Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Association of Golf Course Superintendents, the Golf Association of Philadelphia, GAP, Jersey Man and Philly Man Magazine, and Inside Golf's partner since 1998, the Philadelphia section of the PGA.
Golf is the great equalizer. For many, this journey is an escape from reality, a chance to be part of a team, a career opportunity. PGA Reach impacts lives through golf by lifting people up, giving them hope, and sending them down an alternate path that they never saw coming. With PGA Reach Philadelphia, as in life and in golf, the most important shot you take is the next one.
John planned his dream golf trip himself. The hotel didn't live up to the photos. His transportation was late, his clubs got lost, so he had to use rentals, which he is now breaking. But you booked your trip with All Access. They planned your hotels, food, car service, and tea times. Don't be like John. Be smart like these two.
Psycho.
All Access, the smart way to book your golf vacation.
And welcome back. Inside Golf continues on a beautiful day. It's not even springtime here in the Philadelphia area, but it sure feels like it here at the Wissahickon Course of Philadelphia Cricket with Jim Smith. Jim Smith is our official analyst anytime we come on grounds here at Philly Cricket. Jim, you are Director of Golf and have been now approaching, 20 years?
Hard to believe, yeah.
What an anniversary, and what a year to be in your shoes and the members' shoes here at Philadelphia Cricket Club, because you will be hosting in May the Truist Championship. And it's going to be not just your ordinary tour event. It's an elevated event, the best players in the world, a lot of money, and it's going to be an exciting time for you guys. How are you feeling as you get closer and closer to the Truist?
Super pumped up. I mean, our whole team can't wait for this to happen. This wasn't even on the radar 18 months ago, and now all of a sudden we're going to have the best players in the world coming to the Cricket Club to see and experience what a special place this is. And we've got a lot of planning in place to try to make sure that everybody's experience is the best it can be. We want people walking away from here saying, wow, Cricket Club is a really special place, and hopefully that's what happens.
I'm sure it will. 18 months seems like a long time, but like you said, when it comes to the world of golf and a PGA Tour event, it doesn't give you guys much time to prepare. If you could, share a little bit on how it all happened.
I mean, we got a phone call. I mean, plain and simple, we got a phone call early in 24. My understanding is that they had, that's a lot closer to a tour event date to figure things out than normal. Normally they have this figured out years in advance, but they were waiting on trying to figure out who was going to replace Wells Fargo as the sponsor. And when that finally came together, or looked like it was going to come together, and they decided that they wanted to explore Philadelphia as a potential market, our phone rang. And frankly, we just thought it was some kicking the tires. We thought they were going to do, long exploration and figure it out. And it accelerated pretty quickly, and ultimately, I think we signed the contract in July of 24 for an event in May of 25, which is cutting it close.
That's cutting it real close. This time of the year, now we're in March, we're still 2 months away from the tournament being underway. Normally this course is closed anyhow until when? April, I think you were saying?
Yeah, we close, our last day that we're open normally is the Sunday after Thanksgiving, and then we reopen it on April 1st. So of the many sort of nice things that have fallen into place with this event is that almost all of the construction is going to be taking place on this course when we have no play, which is really going to diminish, a negative experience for people playing.
I noticed today driving up here, they're pretty busy out here on the golf course, building pavilions, and you get the feel for, hey, something big is happening, and that's exactly the case. What else in terms of members' impact? I mean, are the members excited about it? I mean, when you talk about, hey, the Truist Championship is coming to the cricket club.
I would say overwhelmingly excited. I mean, I've heard very little concern expressed, even though this was something that, again, wasn't on the radar 18 months ago, and all of a sudden, major event. There's a sense of pride, I think, that the club not only is a high enough caliber to host something like this, but the tour believes that we're good enough partners, and I think our members take a lot of pride in that. I mean, listen, we know that the golf course and the facility is special. I think Dan Mearsman and his team on the grounds department are so well regarded for being able to deliver championship conditions. I think that's one of the main reasons why we're on the short list of locations when somebody's looking to do a big event. That and our ability to execute and to have support. Like, our members are hugely supportive, whether it's volunteers, hospitality, whatever it might be.
Wow. Now, the golf course will not be the same 18 holes routing that your members play. Give us a little bit of idea what some of the changes are and why they were made.
Sure. Back in 2016, when we were doing the Constellation and we were having to figure out where grandstands would go, our 18th hole, as everybody knows, is an iconic hole.
One of the best in the area.
There's just not a lot of space around it for grandstands. And at the end of the day, this is a production. So back then, they rerouted the golf course. Play will start on our 8th hole, which ideally is right next to the driving range, so players can go from the range right to the first tee. And in the tournament routing, our 18th hole is number 11, but where we finish is the broadest and most open part of our golf course. So our 7th hole, the great hazard par 5, will be number 15. Our 5th hole, which is the great par 3 over the creek, will be 16. And then our 2 hardest par 4s, 6 and 4, will be 17 and 18. And there's tons of space down there to put up bleachers, grandstands, whatever you need.
Wow, that'll be interesting. Will they have any like Philly-style things that are unique to Philadelphia? For instance, is there going to be a concession stand for soft pretzels and cheesesteaks or anything like that, or is that above your pay grade?
I will tell you with 100% certainty that there will be a lot of really cool Philadelphia-themed things. Yes.
So will it have a Philadelphia flavor to it?
Absolutely, and completely intentionally. Listen, I mean, this is going to be the place to be in Philadelphia for a long weekend in early May. There's not...
It is Mother's Day week.
It is Mother's Day.
So you think some of the moms will be out here helping to...
What could be better than treating mom to getting to watch golf, right?
There you go. The best players in the world, right?
Yes.
It's just not any event. This event has been held in the past in Quail Hollow for a number of years. And Rory McIlroy has a pretty good record. He's won it several times. I wonder if that will transfer to the course here at Wissahickon. What do you think? I'm sure he'll be a betting favorite that week.
You know, if you spend time looking at some of the commentary online about this tournament, Wissahickon is a classic gold golf course. It's a 7,100-yard par 70, right? And because of how far these guys hit it, the expectation is that it's going to really play into the hands of these long drivers, of which Rory is one of them. The tour folks have told us, listen, these guys are the best players in the world. They're going to make birdies no matter how the golf course is set up. I don't think any of these players have been here before.
Have ever been here.
So how fast they can pick up the subtleties of the greens, how they can understand the lines of play in a very short, condensed period of time, whoever can figure that out, you guys still got to hit the ball great, but so much of it at that level's up here and making good decisions. We'll see.
It's going to be an elevated event, a lot of money at stake, well over $20 million in the Turtle Pool. The winner will walk out of here with more than $4 million. Best players in the world, and it's all going to be right here in Flourtown, Pennsylvania. The date, second week in May, and it's going to be the Truist Championship with the best golfers in the world. All right, stay with us. Coming up next here on Inside Golf, we'll be joined by Joie Chitwood. He works for the tour. He is the executive director for this event, and he's been around here for weeks making preparations for that Truist Championship. Join us with Joie next on Inside Golf.
So, what do you want to do today?
Today, I want to run. I want to skate.
Thank you.
I want to see a show. I want to play. I want to eat, like a lot. I want to sleep in a hotel. Can we do all that?
We can do all that and more.
The J. Wood Platt Caddy Scholarship Trust is the official charitable arm of GAP. The Trust's mission is to financially aid and empower qualified caddies and those working in golf operations in the pursuit of higher education. Over $25 million has been awarded to more than 3,700 caddies. J. Wood Platt's Empower program strengthens scholarship investment dollars by providing our scholars with exceptional benefits. Visit our website, plattscholar.org, to learn more.
Welcome back to Philadelphia Cricket Club, Wissahickon Course in Flowertown. Joie Chitwood is joining us now. Joie is going to be the executive director of the tournament, no stranger to golf. But Joie, tell us a little about your background. You grew up not even Florida, but your grandfather was basically from not far away, Reading, Pennsylvania.
Still have relatives in Reading, Pennsylvania, and I could take up the whole segment if we wanted to, but my grandfather was known as a race car driver and stuntman and created something called the Joie Chitwood Thrill Show. So for 55 years, we traveled around this country performing at fairgrounds and speedways, and I learned how to drive a car on two wheels as part of being a stuntman. But I took that, got into motorsports management, got to run the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the Daytona International Speedway, and now here I am in golf.
Wow.
And with golf, it's awesome because of some of the great personalities that have been in golf. I had a chance to be part of the Arnold Palmer Invitational, which was really special. But here I am now with the Truist Championship at the Philadelphia Cricket Club. There's a lot of history here, a lot of heritage. We know about the Tillinghast design and the unique group of designers that were here in the Philadelphia market. But for us to bring a top 70 signature event here, we think it's a match made in heaven when you think about it. But it'll be 10 months from when the deal was agreed to actually putting on a tournament like this. And for us, we get into that operation mode, you know, from building the venue, designing the venue, going to market, all the operational things to even communicate to a fan that there's something to purchase, whether it's a large hospitality unit or maybe it's an individual premium ticket. So for us, the team's been working hard. We've had to assemble a crew, not just me, but others from Ponte Vedra, from other tournaments in Atlanta, to really pull together, to really hustle and get this over the goal line. And I do have to say, Tom Sheridan, president of the club, Jim Smith, what a phenomenal team here. The Philadelphia Cricket Club, best team going. We have partnered with them so well. They're truly going to be a great addition, or really a great element to how we pull this off.
Yeah, the golf course actually closed now until April 1st for members. And by the time the members come out here for a limited amount of time to play before the tournament, from what I understand, a lot of the pavilions and everything will already be completed.
Yeah, for us, and the way the course is set up, it's such an intimate venue. To really bring trucks on property and try and build things while people were playing golf wouldn't be fun for anyone. So for us, we hope to have it all completed by then. And so when all those members show back up to play, they can act like they're a professional and they're playing to that roaring crowd, if you will. So we've had to move some holes around from that routing perspective. But again, it's going to create a finishing for this tournament with 15 a par 5. 16 a par 3 and 2 long par 4s to finish it out, and all the hospitality build is all around there. It's going to create a great atmosphere. No matter what someone does on those 4 holes, everyone will hear about it, and I think it's going to create that intensity that we want to find out who lifts that trophy up at the end of the day.
Yeah, there's so much goes into it, the planning and everything like that, you know, and you're doing it on a really short schedule. Another thing I'm sure that is on your checklist is just things like parking. You know, this footprint doesn't allow for a lot of parking of cars, and et cetera. So give us an idea how many different locations there will be and people will be shuttled back and forth to get here on the grounds.
Absolutely. If there were one element that's more of a challenge here than other venues, it is the transportation. So here on the north side of town, we don't have as many options. So we've been out in the community meeting a lot of folks, and we've secured about 10 what I'll call parking lots. Now, it might not be a traditional parking lot, but it's a place where we can actually get our customers to park there. We'll shuttle them in, and we're going to use the Militia Hill campus as the drop-off, and that walk down the hill through the tunnel will lead you to the main entrance gate. So from the standpoint of getting you to property, we love that layout, but we've had to get out there into the market and find these lots, and we'll probably have a couple more as we continue to work on some local folks and help us there. But we'll have a lot of shuttles. We'll park people based on what kind of grounds ticket or hospitality ticket they have, and then get them to the property. It's going to be a signature event, top 70 on the tour, elevated purse, no cut, right? So you're going to have these 70 players play all 4 days. It's going to be an intimate experience. And for us, we think it's just a perfect match between what this club means, how it operates, the vibe that you get here with these top 70 players. So if folks haven't gotten their ticket, they should, because within the first 3 hours of going on sale, we sold 1,000 tickets. So we know this is a big sports town. We know this is an event that you're going to want to see. We don't know if this signature event will come back at some point. It's a great chance to see some phenomenal golf, and who knows who'll hoist the trophy. But with Rory McIlroy as the defending champion coming from Quail Hollow, I think there's going to be a lot of guys gunning for this trophy, because it'll be the only one, if you will, to put on the mantle, because we don't have another Philly Cricket Club event on the books.
Yeah, and as I mentioned in the open of the show, hey, folks, you've got to take advantage of this, because there's no guarantees it won't be back for another 20 years.
I mean, we've seen some phenomenal results here, and you look at the sports support in this town, which is fantastic, and of course with the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, but you look at the media market, the size of the market, and the golf here in this market, it's pretty phenomenal. It's really adding things all together for the future, and if this could ever come back. Now, I will say this, an annual event is a lot different than a one-off signature event, and transportation comes into play, the right club, everything goes into it, but I'm very impressed with the support we've received in such a short amount of time.
Do you have a score that you think it's going to win this thing? I mean,
so I get that question
everybody
a lot.
talks about how it's going to be set up. What are they going to do?
So, these golfers are so good. Oh. And there's going to be a golfer or two that are probably going to have probably about a 70% driving accuracy clip. And if they're driving the ball that good, there'll be a handful of them. It's tough to defend a course like that, but this is unique. They don't have a lot of history playing here, so there's not going to be a lot of inside intel in terms of pin placements, how the greens play. So I think that will help in terms of the defense. When you look at the event that was held here in 2015, I think it was only a -1.
Right.
Now, different event, but if we get a little bit of wind, not as much course knowledge, and the practice round really on Tuesday is going to be a really important practice round for these pros, because they're going to be getting a lot of information and understanding and seeing the course for the first time.
Sure.
For me to say that it's going to be -10, -15, that is a pure guess. But to me, if you're in that -12 to -15, 4 good rounds of a couple under par each day, I think that'd be it'd be a good event for our fans to enjoy.
Joey, pleasure.
Awesome.
Good seeing you. Next time we'll have you back and talk about NASCAR. Thrilling finish to the Daytona 500. Too many crashes. Half the field or more got wiped out before the checkered flag went out there, but I'm sure you're used to that, right?
I am, and just for the record, the day I was born, February 20th, 1969, my mom was on her own in Tampa because my dad was racing a car at the Daytona International Speedway.
No kidding.
So in addition to me running the property for give or take 10 years, my dad actually raced a car there the day I was born in Tampa. So a good little fact for all those fun folks out there.
What was his speed, average
So
speed?
he was
then?
actually running in a sports car race on the road course.
Okay.
And so back then, I think it was like the Citrus 250 or something. And I got some great imagery of it, but a good connection for my family to that property. And happy to bring it up here, especially with the Philly Reading connection as well.
There you go. Joey Chitwood, he's a busy guy, executive tournament director here for the Truist Championship coming up in May at the Wissahickon Course of Philly Cricket. And we'll be back at the Cricket Club, wrapping it up here on Inside Golf in just a moment. Our teed-off panel is brought to you by Lulu Country Club. Welcome back. Inside Golf continues from Lulu. And our panel is back to talk about another golf topic. And that panel consists of Mike Brown. He's the president, First Tee of Philadelphia, just one of the many things that Brownie is associated with. Harry Mays, he's all things golf.
Good to be
here. And Ken Phillips, no stranger now to Teed Off, now in his second term as the president of GAP. Gentlemen, let's talk about golf and television, specifically TV ratings. A lot of talk recently about the decline and why it's happening and what's going to happen down the road with television ratings in the game. A lot of it, Brownie, has to do, I think, with star power, especially early in the season, where some of the names, and you recently were at a PGA Tour event in California, you had to look up who these guys are, right?
And who was playing? I mean, when you go look, you're like, Xander Schauffele was supposed to play and he withdrew. And then the next big star they moved in to play with the big sponsors was Billy Horschel. Where's Billy Horschel? He's 35, great guy, but he's not top 10. They don't even show up. I mean, they'd rather play the TGL on TV rather than go to an event that is $8 million because they're waiting for the $20 million. Right. So they've kind of spoiled that need to play because they're going to make enough money. It doesn't really matter.
Part of the problem, I think, Harry, and you're broadcast guy, is people's attention span. First of all, golf that's a whole other topic. How long it takes now for these guys to play around the golf, but just to watch it, golf's audiences have changed over time. You have the traditional people who would sit down and watch maybe 3 hours on a Saturday and Sunday. This new generation of golfers, they don't do anything that takes 3 hours, especially watch a game like golf.
Right.
That's a problem.
It's a commitment to watch a golf tournament. It really is. But about the broadcast, I mean, you come out of commercial, you see 3 putts, and you're right back into commercial again.
Playing through, maybe. And that's a distraction.
The playing through thing is, I don't really like that.
How do they get money from sponsors to have a little box of what's going on in the tournament and a little box for the sponsors? I mean, that's the whole idea. Just
divides your
counterproductive.
attention. There's no doubt. But yeah, I mean, they're always in commercial, and like Brownie was saying, the elevated events, which was a reaction to Live Golf, has now stratified basically the tour where these guys are only are interested in playing those events, and every now and then they'll go to a non-elevated event, but then they don't play like stars. I mean, you have Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, Victor Hovland, John Rahm in the majors did not play well. They didn't play up to their level. Max Homa had an off year last year. These are the guys you want to see on a Sunday on the leaderboard, and they're not there.
Right. And the other thing is, Liv has stolen away some people who I personally would enjoy watching, but you can't see. You can't see DeChambeau except for maybe 10 times a year, right? And now, same thing with whether you like him or not, Tyrrell Hatton. He's a lightning rod sometimes out there, but he's a top 10 player in the world.
He's playing great golf.
Ken, and you don't get to see him. Something's got to be done to bring Liv maybe 5 times a year. They got to get an agreement. They've lost some of this, quote, star power to the Liv people, right?
Yeah, they have. I mean, Liv has changed the game here. Justin Thomas sent a letter last week, I think, to all the PGA players, if you guys saw that, saying, hey, we need to engage more. We need to show our face to the fans. We need to sign autographs. We need to interact with them because we're losing it. And it'll be interesting what happens with something like that. Because I remember being at a senior open. I was following my brother when he had qualified. And you have little kids coming up to my brother, who was a club pro, right? And they want his autograph. And that's what you need is kids don't care who they are. But if we're pros and we interact with them, they'll get engaged in the game.
Right.
And you don't see that a lot. You do not see that. The money, chasing the money, the live, it is an issue. It's going to be interesting how they deal with it.
I was reading Golf Magazine, Brownie, recently, and there's an article on Peter Costas and Gary McCord. They do a podcast now. It's called Off the Rockers, okay? I mean, both these guys have been around forever. McCord's mid-70s. Costas is right behind him. And they talked about TV broadcasting. And I think it was McCord who said there's too many announcers. He said they need 3 guys. They don't need 3 people following out on the course, and every tower, the last 4 holes has somebody. He said they got to do it differently, And to your point, they said in terms of interacting, mic up the 5 or 6 caddies and the actual conversations that they're having during competition. Yeah. If you want to really bring people to the game on another level, and I think he's right about that.
That's a really good idea.
I think he's truly right about that. I also think they need to try and attract the different demographic. I believe that when Liv started, they wanted to get the 18 to 40-year-old to watch them, and that's why they came up with these goofy names and all that kind of stuff. Because we're the people watching golf on Saturdays and Sundays. We're not spending as much money. We're not doing that kind of stuff. They're looking for a new group.
Well, and that group's there, but they're not going to spend 3 hours on a Saturday and Sunday watching. And to a lot of them, Harry, grew up with Tiger. Well, guess what? I hate to break the news. He's not going to win anymore.
No.
Okay? Despite what writers around the Masters will write, maybe he can do it. It's not going to happen.
Right.
So who's going to bring them to the game and keep them there, do you think?
Well, I mean, right now, Scottie Scheffler's the best player in the world, but he's not that interesting outside of watching him play golf. I mean,
He does give good comments at news conferences.
Yeah.
But out on the course, you're right.
Right.
Yeah. And Costas, to his point with Scheffler, said, who's got the best swing on tour? You can't copy Scottie Scheffler's swing,
with his
all
feet.
because of one thing,
yeah,
his feet.
Well, Bryson has the answer. Yeah. Bryson's on TikTok and
YouTube.
and
That's
all
big.
that, and
He's selling himself.
he seems to know what's going on.
Yeah, he's got a nice little brand.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you. More of Inside Golf coming up.
Hi, Tony Salucci with the Beacon Group of Companies. If your company has between 50 and 500 employees enrolled in your health insurance plan, there's a really good chance we can reduce your costs significantly and increase the benefits employees receive. How do we do it? We put you together with several thousand employers of a similar size across the country so your company can get amazing buying power. Schedule a conversation with one of our employee benefits specialists today at mybeacongroup.com.
As we close this edition of Inside Golf, I can only wonder what A.W. Tillinghast would say about his beloved Wissahickon Course preparing to host this year's Truist Championship. The Philly area deserves this upcoming week in May. In fact, Philadelphia has given golf its share of historic events. In its wisdom, the PGA Tour is giving back, and a well-deserved date on its calendar to one of golf's great metropolitan areas. So seize the moment, Philadelphia. Nothing's guaranteed in the future. But what is certain is that the game's best players are coming here to the Wissahickon Course at Philly Cricket. I'm Harry Donahue, and remember, no matter how bad it's going for you, on the course or off, don't pick up. And we'll see you next week on Inside Golf. The 28th season of Inside Golf is presented by Destination Monco Golf, the First Tee of Greater Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Association of Golf Course Superintendents, the Golf Association of Philadelphia, GAP, Jersey Man and Philly Man Magazine, and Inside Golf's partner since 1998, the Philadelphia section of the PGA.